The wind was deafening up there, blades chopping the sky, my hair whipping across my face. Then came the whisper, "You've always been in the way." I felt her palm on my chest, and then I was falling. The last face I saw wasn't hers. It was his, my husband, expressionless, still. He knew. I hit the water hard, bones cracked, vision exploded into black and red, but I didn't die. That was their first mistake. You don't survive something like that by accident. You survive it because something colder than water wraps around your spine. Rage. I washed up hours later, broken, bleeding, invisible. And I stayed that way, gone, while they threw my funeral, while they cried fake tears and pocketed the insurance payout, while my sister slid into my office chair and my husband slept in my bed. I watched and waited. I wasn't always this person. Once I believed in family. I trusted my sister with secrets, my husband with my heart. Together, we built my father's company into a multi-million-dollar empire. But the more I succeeded, the smaller they felt. And I missed the signs. The late-night texts, the sudden business trips, the way he stopped touching me, and she started dressing like me. It all clicked the night before the helicopter ride. A phone left unlocked. An insurance policy printed and signed with his signature, not mine, and her initials at the bottom. $5 million. They called it a just-in-case. I called it motive. So I made copies, saved emails, turned whispers into evidence. But I didn't confront them. Because rage isn't revenge. Revenge takes timing, precision. I vanished, declared dead. Let the world bury me while I buried who I used to be. A hacker in Romania helped erase what little digital footprint remained. An ex-military contact gave me new documents, a limp that looked real, and a new name. Then I returned, silently, undercover. The funeral was a farce. Black dresses, crocodile tears, speeches that meant nothing. I stood in the back, sunglasses, scarf, cane. Nobody noticed the ghost watching them bury her own body. But I saw everything. My husband gave a eulogy. Brilliant, loyal, gone too soon. My sister sniffled on cue. But when he reached for her hand, she didn't flinch. They weren't even hiding it. Perfect. The first domino I pushed was the company. My lawyer, someone they didn't know I trusted, filed a motion claiming fraud in the transfer of ownership. He had power of attorney from before the accident. They'd forged the new one. Feds got involved. Then came the money. Insurance companies don't like being played, especially not when they find the dead woman's blood on a recovered wetsuit and a witness claiming she was pulled out of the water after the fall. All arranged, all planted, all timed. I didn't need to expose them. I made them expose themselves. Paranoia does the job better than proof. They started slipping, blaming each other in front of the board, deleting files the feds had already copied. Then came the raid. I walked into the courtroom 3 months later, alive, breathing, unbroken. My sister froze. My husband went pale. They looked like they saw a ghost. In a way, they had. Because the woman they killed, she died that day in the water. I was something else now. They pled not guilty. Of course they did. But the jury saw through them. Emails, texts, bank transfers. The last nail? The audio recording from the helicopter. She whispered it so clearly. You've always been in the way. Sentenced. Public disgrace. Assets frozen. He cried when they took him out in cuffs. She screamed. I just watched. same way they watched me fall. The company? Back in my name. But I sold it. Built something new, smaller, cleaner, mine. Sometimes I dream of that moment, her hand, the fall, the silence right before the crash, and then I wake up calm. Because justice doesn't always wear a badge. Sometimes she wears your face. I wasn't in the way. I was the way. And now they finally see it.